Hello and welcome back to another Containerization Crash Course. My name is Jeff Krakenberg and my cat is sleeping on my notebook. So, in place of the video I had planned where the notes are in the notebook and I would be going off that, I wrote up a quick note file with some stuff in it that I wanted to try out, and that's what today's video is going to be about. A quick review of some of the things we've already done. In previous videos, we made a Samba demo based on some stuff in my GitHub, Tell Ubu, and the Compose basics. Now let's pull a lot of that together to create an internal network for our Docker stuff. So first things first, we're going to call this we're going to call it gateways. So we'll do gateways, and I'll cd into gateways so I can look at stuff and see there's nothing there because we just made it. So now I need to create my Dockerfile, right? So in this, we're going to have a Dockerfile. I almost made a directory for my Dockerfile. Don't want that. I'm going to touch a Dockerfile and touch a docker-compose.yml. This is where we're going to set up our services. You can have multiple Docker files if you annotate which one is which with like Dockerfile dot and then the name, or you can use a simple shared Docker file for them. That's what I'm going to do this time. So let's VI into Dockerfile and start adding our information. We're going to work from Alpine. I think it's 3.19, 3.18, 19. We'll go with 19 to see if it works. And then we're going to need to add stuff in. I don't like caching information. That's not the right cache. No cache. We want to do open SSH. We want to do busybox extras. And we want to do bash. Alpine is a lightweight limited, so if we don't do this, we won't get the stuff we need. I also want to add in a user so that we can test this stuff out. Full disclosure, in the field, don't use the stuff I'm about to use. Do it the right way. But if we make a user this way, as you guys might be aware, we can just throw their password into password, and that will set up a user called user and a password called password, and then change that password. Don't do that in the field. Use more secure stuff, but I just want to get something quick out there today to give those following along a chance to practice their skills. So I need to do keygen add make directory p home of user.ssh and should I do another and or should I? This will be fine. There are better ways to do this, but I'm going to give user control of their home, so that new directory that we make will be under the control of the user. What this is saying is generate keys all, make the directory to put the keys in, and give control of everything, this is recursive, to the user in their own directory. I think I need, no, that'll be good. I could just expose that. And in this, I'm doing two different containers. So one is going to be telnet as a gateway, and then one is going to be SSH. You could flip those around, do them however you want, but if you're using telnet and SSH, you need to expose both of them. So let's go ahead and give it the command to start with of bin bash so that it is running its stuff. And this is going to be a good starting point. We might come back in here and add more, edit some stuff, but we're going from Alpine. We're going to add in OpenSSH, busybox extras, and bash. I'm going to run add user, echo the password and change their password, and then I'm going to run keygen, make directory, and change owners, users, expose the ports, and give it the command. So that is our Docker file in this one. We've done a couple of Docker files, so I'm not going to go too deep on that one. We haven't done as many Docker composes. This is composers. Anyway, for this one, we're going to need a service for our telnet gateway. We need to tell it what to build, right? So we're going to build from our current directory. This is saying to go ahead and build the container of Telnet Gateway, build the image of Telnet Gateway, give it the container name Telnet Gateway, and I want to give it the command. Ooh, what do I want to give it? I want to give it shc telnet d force. So start the telnet daemon forcefully, and oh man, I'm gonna check my notes on this one. And user sbin sshd. I always gotta check that path. Always forget it. We can kill it there. Go back here and throw in my ports. I want to expose ports 2323 to my host and tie that to port 23 on the container, right? So I'm going from 2323 on host to 23 on the container. That will let me essentially just local host right in, and I want to be on the networks of internal net. This is a new thing. This is how I set up the connection from container to container inside. So we'll see that in a bit. But now I need to go back and build my second one. We're going to call it SSH only. It is also going to build from that minimal file that we saw earlier, but this container name is going to be SSH only. It is going to get the command to start SSH, which is a little bit easier than starting telnet, so we just need to call it, since we don't need to, so over here we started telnet and we started SSH. Down here we're just starting the SSH daemon, and then we need to put it on the network with our other one, and then expose. This one just needs 22, and this one's going to look a little bit differently because, like I said, we're doing this inside of our internal network, so I'm not exposing anything to my host. I have telnet exposed to my host, but then telnet's going to go SSH to the other one. So our whole Docker Compose is building the services of Telnet Gateway, which is going to give us a way to telnet into our Docker network, the internal net that we make right here. We're going to do that over port 2320. It should start, we'll see if it actually works, telnet daemon and SSH daemon. Telnet daemon lets us come into the gateway. SSH daemon lets us pivot to the SSH only container. And let's see if that actually works. All we have to do is escape :WQ to right quit the changes, and now I should be able to docker compose up. Must be an array. Did I not put it in quotes again? Oh no, I didn't put a space. Okay, let's see if that works. I wish my cat would move, then I could grab my notepad. Invalid compose, undefined network, internal. Oh, okay, so I didn't define it. Let's see if I can find that really quick. The good old IT solution of if you don't know what your error message is telling you, just Google it. Maybe somebody else will have already figured it out. Oh, I didn't add the actual network. That makes sense. So we did miss something. Let's go ahead and go down here. I do need to add the actual thing. Right. So let's go insert mode. Whoa. And we're going to call it networks, internal net. I'm just going to grab this one and see if I can get that to work. Is that what it said? So you do have to call it for it to work, or you have to explain it for it to work. Let's see if I got that going now. I could have spent so much time troubleshooting that on my own. That is always worth it. And now we get failed to resolve. So this is why I didn't want to spend too much time, because there are a ton of things that come up when you try and run your own composes that you just wrote without really testing or training or anything before getting in. So we had an error here on our run add user. Probably a typo on my part. I'm going to see if I can get that fixed. Maybe if I just flip it to 2 lines. So that's in my Dockerfile. Okay, so now we got a different one. Failed to resolve process echo. See, user password did not exit successfully. Okay, so now we moved a little bit forward. Telnet gateway is now having an error on change password not found. Okay, so that is going to be, oh man, ch password, that is not the right command for that. So let's say, what if I just go like this? Actually, I could just go change password in Alpine Linux, because ch password is what I use in a different one. Password for the root account. Oh, is it just, I want to search for my specific thing. Oh, it is change password. I said change password, but then I typed out password. So let's VI my Dockerfile. Password, PASWD, because it's like PASWD for the file, not password. Sometimes I say anyway. See if that works. All right, so we got through it. A little bit of typos on my part because I don't know how to read, which is very difficult usually. So I did get network internal net declared as external but could not be found. So there might be a bit of an issue there that I need to troubleshoot. But let's see what is running. Docker ps all. Oh, it didn't actually do it because it didn't find the network. Cool. So let's go ahead and easy bake oven troubleshooting. Manually create the network. Run the following command, replacing internal net with your actual network name. Oh, so I just don't have an internal network on this system. That makes sense. So what this is going to say is create a Docker network called internal net. Docker PSA. Cool. Let's see if that lets me do it now. Boom, boom. My compose seemed to work. I didn't run it in the background again. You can find a way to do that if that's what you want in life. But now I've got the Docker PSA status 14 seconds ago. Gateways, Telnet gateway, and gateways SSH only are up and running. If I nmap myself, I do see that 2323 is open like we thought it would be. So let's telnet into localhost 2323. Log in as log in as user with password. And now we're in. It contains a lot of guides in here if you want to do anything else in Alpine. It is a pretty cool one. It is limited or lightweight on purpose, but it is a good learning environment. So now I should be able to go from here into my SSH only, by going SSH user at SSH only. Gotta trust the fingerprint because we don't know it. And then the password is, because this is a demo, just password. And now you'll see we went from the telnet container, which is this bf, to the 224B6781C2DE container. Can I ping the telnet gateway by name? Yeah, so I can even talk back. Actually, I know I can talk back. My parents didn't like that when I was growing up. But now I can go ahead and exit out from my SSH gateway, exit out from my telnet container, and now we are back on Jeff Krakenberg. Always remember to clean your system. I've got stuff up and running, so let's go ahead and docker rm, that wonderful command that I used a couple of times, and container is still running. So let's do the same thing, but change it from, oh wait, we're doing compose. So it's just on my other screen. Control C to quit gracefully. Then we can do docker PSA. There it is. Now we're exited out. Let's do docker rm with my wonderful, terrible, should have closed out both of those. And then we can do docker images to see what we've got. See, we have a lot more now because we based off it. I will sometimes clean these out just because if it's built from a compose, I don't want to just hold on to them. So I'll do docker rmi, paste that in. Docker rmi. You can type it out if you want instead. So I'll do telnet gateway latest on this one. And then if I do docker images, now I've only got the older stuff that was in there. My compose, my samba, my redis, my telubu, my ubuntu, my vulnerables. You can remove all of them in the same way. If I wanted to just clear up in here, we would just need to RMI and then do docker images, print. I did that backwards. Hey, welcome to Containerization Crash Course, where I regularly make typos. But this will get rid of all of it. It's designed for human readability. For machine output, use ---- format. I don't want it. Now if I do docker images, I'm cleaned out. That means the next time I use any of this stuff, I'm going to have to pull down the latest. But I've still got all of my compose here. So if I wanted to rebuild my gateways or my compose basics, my demo samba, or even telubu, I can go directly to the source and build from there. That being said, this is all that today's video is going to cover. So get out of here, have a good day, and I hope my cat gets off my notebook.